Shetty, also from Royal Pains.
I'm sorry, I got heels.
So, when are we having the Royal Pains Suits crossover? Make it happen.
That's a good question. I want to go to the beach.
So obviously, we left a lot untold with Divya. Rauch is moving on. Are we going to get a love interest for you this season?
I hope so. I think a few. I think a few love interests this year, which would be fun. But yeah, I think so. These are awfully small little chairs. Okay,
Very far away from each other too.
sorry if you see anything. Yes, hopefully some fantastic love interests.
I hear you try to get set up by Judy Greer's character who's coming on.
I do get set up by her, and I do, yes. I can't say anything. I don't know what to say, but there are lots. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a really fun year for Divya this year. Definitely coming out of her shell.
Now, where did we go from the end of that premiere? I mean, things were kind of going well, and then we had a huge explosion. So set the stage for episode 2.
Want me to take this?
Nothing happens in Toronto. We'll come to you in a minute. We pick up, obviously, exactly where we left off, and you know, we've been playing this rift between Hank and Evan for quite a while, and just as a climax, we had this unforeseen event that sort of puts into perspective everything they've been going through, but it doesn't erase everything they've been fighting about. So episode 2 is really about how do we reconcile the way we feel about each other as brothers with the way we feel about each other as business partners.
Now, we also left a huge cliffhanger at the end of Suits. Is Jessica going to really fire Mike? Can that happen?
You really want me to say?
Yes.
The circle who knows what Mike, his background is, will expand.
That's all you're going to give us?
Basically.
We also touched a little bit on Donna and Harvey and how, you know, far back their relationship goes. Are we going to explore more about just the bond that the two have?
Yeah, absolutely. The first season we spent so much time establishing the show and relying upon Harvey and Mike characters, and by the end of the first season we realized how much we could sort of turn to some of the other characters for storytelling, and Donna really popped. And we're going to see a lot more backstory between Harvey and Donna. In fact, in the 8th episode of the 2nd season, we have a flashback episode. So we get to see where the Campbell came from, we get to see all kinds of backstory tidbits.
With both shows, what do you think makes the partnership between the two, you know, lead men work so well on each of your shows?
We have 2 amazing actors who play brothers. They aren't brothers. They're actually written by and originally as best friends. And when Paulo came into audition, so the story goes, he and Mark seemed so much like brothers that the characters changed to brothers. And they love each other as actors and people, and they also bicker like brothers. So their relationship is very real in terms of being people who work together, as Paulo and Mark are, but also there really is this sibling rivalry between them. And it makes their relationship on screen really interesting, and it makes on set very fun because they challenge each other, they respect each other, and they also often try to get the last word in. So it's really a nice combination between the two of them.
And how about with Harvey and Mike?
I think it's a similar dynamic. We were blessed with fantastic actors, and you know the show is designed for this mentor relationship, and there is a brotherly aspect to that relationship as well. But we want to make sure there's enough distance and age between these characters so that Mike could really look up to Harvey. There was enough distance so he really could be a mentor to him, and that's the arc of the series. That, Jessica's a mentor to Harvey. Harvey's a mentor to Mark.
Who's some of the biggest jokesters on set? Reshma, is it you?
Maybe.
On our set, it would probably be, Aaron Korch, who created the series, is a great judge. Aaron came in and comedy writing, working on a lot of half hours of just shooting, and everybody loves Raymond before writing suits. And he definitely likes to find the comedy, both in front of the camera and behind the camera.
What about Royal Pains?
I guess it would be the Paolo, right? Oh, he thinks he's funny. No, he is funny, Paolo probably, right? Probably Michael and Andrew? I don't know.
Season 4 is the season of boyfriends.
Oh, I had a prank from Paolo on my text once. He texted me on April Fool's Day that Mark had broken his leg. And I wrote back and I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he's like, April Fools! And I'm like, you're not funny. That's it. I'm just lame. I'm really sorry. I'm nothing else. Sorry.
Reshma, do you ever get tripped up on any of the medical jargon?
Of course I do. Oh my gosh, they're awful. No, absolutely, and I think it's funnier too because you're using medical devices that aren't really real, and you're pretending that there's things there, and then you got to pretend you know what you're doing, and blood's either falling out or something goes terribly wrong, and but it's fun. It's a challenge. Mark's excellent at it. He's very methodical. I'm like, yeah, all right, here. I'll put my hand here, but Mark's excellent at it. I'm excellent too. I was joking. Because I'm funny.
We also got to see a little bit of Divya with her parents, and we left off with her going into her mother's house. Talk about some of the struggles she's going to have learning what's going on with her parents this season.
I love that it's about Divya. No, the next few episodes are very Divya family-oriented, which I really loved doing. It's a lot of, she left her parents, they kind of disowned her, and she's starting to face all of her issues and problems, and the next few episodes are definitely about her going, Rauch has got this girlfriend now, he's got pregnant, and his parents are actually accepting it, and that's so not the norm, and she sees that, and she wants that, so I think the next few episodes are definitely her character going after what she wants, finally.
Mike's got himself a little bit of a love triangle. Talk about how that's going to progress in the next season. And a lot of fans, I think, want to see him actually with Rachel.
Yeah, it was it's interesting because we ended the season not really knowing where we were going to go. And fortunately now we do know where we're going to go. But all the sort of cliffhangers and questions we raised in the last episode of season 1, we pretty much answered in the first episode back in season 2. So without ruining too much, the triangle will be over.
Okay.
But it won't get any easier for Mike.
Okay. Now, speaking of love triangles, is Harvey going to get a love interest? We haven't really seen him let that side of him.
Yeah, Harvey was a real mystery in season 1, and that was definitely by design. You know a ton about Mike and his backstory, and you meet his Grammy, and you know what happened to his parents, and how he ended up where he was. You really don't know much about Harvey at all. And season 2, we start sort of parsing out more and more sort of tidbits about Harvey's personal life and his backstory. You meet more of the ladies of his past.
Okay. Talk about some of the guest stars you guys have coming up. I mentioned Judy Greer, but you have another few and perhaps returning guest stars.
We do. We have another embarrassment of riches this season. You guys saw Donald Logue and Savannah Weiss from Smash in the second episode. We have Alexa Vega from Spy Kids. We do have Henry Winkler coming back, but we won't say when. We have Judy Greer. We have a couple of potential new love interests for Hank that are going to get introduced in the first 7 or 8 episodes. What was it? Kat Foster is one of them. Ina Baron is another. Campbell Scott plays Boris, and Brooke Dorsey, who plays Paige, are both series regulars this season, so we'll see a lot more of them. And Mr. Berto, Christine never saw.
Are we going to see a wedding with the fiance?
Good show.
Royal Pains, Evan and Paige.
We will see wedding planning.
You guys are a tough crowd. You're not giving up anything today. Does anyone have any fan questions, or anyone want to raise their hand? Awesome. Okay. All right, we're down there.
Okay. I have a question that relates to both shows. I'm always curious when you approach the show how far you take medical reality or the legal reality from the truth to kind of, I don't know, for dramatic effect. Like, is the medical reality all real on the show, or do you kind of make up situations that don't really happen?
We try not to make stuff up. As a general rule. Although I do like to make stuff up sometimes. But we have a couple of medical consultants that work on the show on set. And we also have a medical consultant that works in the writer's room a couple days a week. So while medical stories come from the writers and also from them, we won't do anything unless it's approved by at least one of the doctors. Sometimes the doctors have different opinions, but for us, it has to be real and authentic to make it through. And we've had a couple of situations where we thought we were breaking a story that was medically authentic, and it turned out it wasn't. We had to alter it while we were writing the script. But we definitely consider the fact that we're dealing with people's health stories often. We want to be able to be authentic.
What about the legal?
We don't like to be restricted by the truth. We don't go to quite the same lens. We have one of our writers on staff is an attorney. Was an attorney. We use our writers' assistants to research legal issues. But we take a lot of liberties. We get a lot of feedback from real lawyers who tell us that never happens in the real world. It's television. In the real world, yeah, we take a lot of liberties.
Do you ever get nervous about running out of either legal cases to come up with, or I've never seen so many people in one location have these like crazy medical things happen to them. So
well, in season 1, we often talked about Hank being the angel of death, because every time we walk away seeing someone drop dead or near death. So we kind of were very careful about finding more creative ways of bringing Hank into the medical storylines, and the medical storylines happening around Divya or Hank. Yes, you are.
there are more questions. Yeah, right there.
In Suits, I enjoy the allusions to Mississippi Burning and Casablanca for humorous things. I was wondering, are you going to continue to do those kind of things?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a runner in the second season. There's a lot of movie references. Aaron, the creator of the show, loves quoting movies. He is more like Mike than we can possibly imagine. And he has incredible memory and incredible recall, and he can quote endlessly for movies. So they definitely get in the scripts, but there'll be a lot of that this season.
All right, question.
This is for Minnie and Earl. It's kind of sort of the first question, but you spend a lot of time in the legal world, you guys are in the medical world or profession. If you weren't doing what you're doing, just working in entertainment, what other profession would you want to do? Or was there something else you wanted to do growing up?
Straight to the actor. I would have been a doctor. I was going to be a doctor. And I just think the gift of being able to help somebody is kind of amazing. All my family doctors, my dad's doctor. So that's what I would have been.
When I was growing up, I wanted to be a police car. That's the car with the lights and sirens, and I haven't quite let go of the dream yet. But we have a difficult day job.
I'm really not qualified to do anything else. I used to want to be an architect, but then like George Costanza ruined that.
I probably wanted to be a baseball player. That was my fallback, yeah. I still want to be a baseball player. Yeah, definitely. Major leagues.
Yes.
Totally.
For those who couldn't hear the question, it was Paul Key, the Top Chef winner from season 9, who had a cameo during Harbor Fest. Yes, we completely remembered that he flew in from Austin. We heard his restaurant here is fantastic, and we'll get a chance to try it out. But it was great having him.
We have some more down here. There's another question. Yep, right there.
It's about Bartis' character. Did I say your name right? Sorry.
You did.
You did, thank you.
It's actually for all of you. I just wondered if the character was originally created to be Indian, if there was this whole storyline around the difference of culture and marriage and relationships, and what that's like for you representing that, and if you get a lot of feedback from fans.
Actually, she was written Indian because Andrew's best friend? Best friend?
You're my best friend, Reshma.
It was called Divya, right? And so it was written as Indian. And at the very first season when we started to do the arranged marriage thing, these guys were really great when I gave my input about where I thought it should go, because as an Indian actress, you're right, you get a lot of the same things. And props to these two guys who actually listen to me when I say, hey, would it be okay if we kind of didn't, or you moved it? And they've never made it about my culture. They never made it about the stereotype of having the ethnic actress on the show. They just made it about the character. And not a lot of people would have done that, I don't think. So it's definitely come up. And I do a lot of Asian specified Q&As like this. And all of them have said that they don't see her as an Indian girl. They just see her as a girl who happens to have that heritage. And as an ethnic actress, it's an awesome thing to be part of. Thank you for that question.
This one might be hard, but years down the line when people are looking back at Suits from Royal Pains, what do you hope the legacy of each show is?
I can't believe they did 250 episodes.
What about you guys?
I can't believe they did 251 episodes.
Alright, well thank you guys and Reshma for joining us. Everyone, the after party is right next door at the Intercontinental Hotel, so come join us.